G'day and welcome to this Silly Point podcast, reviewing day 3 of the second test between India and England in Chennai. I'm joined again by Declan Hooper of Wickets and Pickets. My name's Phil Dillon. Declan, India right on top. Only one result, surely.
Yeah, Ravi bloody Ashwin, hey? Ravi bloody Ashwin. What a day out he's having. Or sorry, what a 3 days out he's had. It was it looked like it was going to be a fairly low score from India. It Shubman Gill, Pujara, Rishabh Pant, and Rahane all falling pretty cheaply. But as we said in the first innings, there's always someone to bail them out, and this time it was the turn of the captain to do it. I mean, it was it was a real captain's knock for his 62, and it's quite unlucky to actually get out. Looking at the decision again, but I think when Ravi Ashwin came in, he went to hit big, and I think Virat Kohli had a word to him early saying, no, we need you here. You need to stay here and bat sensibly. And the partnership they put on was pretty fantastic, really. And the way then, once Virat Kohli got dismissed, that Ravi Ashwin continued to take the game on was pretty spectacular, really.
Yeah, it was. It was good on Ashwin. I just think that England spinners need to work a bit harder on their game. It's like, Ashwin was batted fantastically. So did Kohli. They were 106 for 6, and really, you'd think that England, should have been able to wrap that up pretty quickly. But fair play to Ashwin. He dug in deep and played big. He went big. Kohli batted well, but once again, it's just like too many bad deliveries from England to let the Indians off the hook. We're looking at that wicket, and I think to give them 329 and then 200 odd in the second innings is probably too many on a pitch that's doing as much as this one is. I mean, they tried hard. They bowled some fantastic deliveries to get people out, but in between there's a bit of full tosses, long hops, and it's just inconsistency, and that's allowed India to get away. I mean, nothing getting away from India. What they've done, they've dominated. They deserve to be where they are because they batted better than England, and they bowled better than England, and that's the true thing about it.
Yeah,
but there's certainly room for improvement for England. There has to be room for improvement. They just got to get better with their bowling. And that's where they let themselves down on the first day and yesterday. To allow India to score that many runs, probably too many runs on this pitch.
Yeah, I think it's pretty indicative of England's batting as well, that India managed to score 302, 286 on this wicket, and England only managed to get 134. Well, I think, I just think that England were the makers of their downfall again.
For sure.
And look, you have to give credit where it's due. And Virat Kohli dug in, and Ravi Ashwin played fantastically. Only Ian Botham has more 100s and 5 wickets in Test matches. It's now the third time Ravi Ashwin's done that, which is pretty incredible. They really were the makers of their own downfall, and now you moving into their second innings, it's pretty dire straits already. There's 3 down after 19 overs. It's
Should have been 4 as well.
Yeah, Joe Root. I mean, Joe Root was very lucky. Very, very lucky. And I suppose there's probably one consolation with that DRS decision is that you can kind of say that it's evened itself out in the long run, because I think Ravichandran was stonewalled. And then Joe Root now is copped the same one. He's got the same luck. So it's like at least you can say, I mean, it's consistently inaccurate, which means it kind of evens out in the long run, as you'd say.
Really, it wasn't really DRS's fault with Rohit Sharma. That was the umpire's fault, because he said that he wasn't playing a shot, which he he was playing a shot, which he clearly wasn't. In everybody's eyes, that he was tucking the bat behind the pad, so he's not playing a shot. But that was the umpire's fault. But Joe Root was apparently not allowed to ask whether he was playing a shot. He clearly wouldn't have reviewed if he thought he was playing a shot, because the ball hit him clearly outside the line of the stumps. The second one, this DRS with the umpire's call, it depends on what his call is, whether you're out or in. In that instance, he said the umpire's call, it's outside the line, and he didn't give it out because we didn't know what they were appealing for in the first place, to be fair. Bishop Pant was going up as if he'd caught it, and then they changed the decision to LBW, which it looked like it was out, but it said umpire's call. So I don't know where they go with the DRS on this umpire's call, because it's. I think Sachin Tendulkar said a few months ago, if the ball's hitting the stumps, it should be out.
I tend to agree with him.
If it's hitting the stumps, it's out. Whether it's clipping them or smashing into the middle stump halfway up. If it's clipping the bails, then if it clips the bails, you're bowled, aren't you? Right? So if that's the case with an LBW, then it should be out. You can't. I think umpire's call is it should be gone away with. I think it's either hitting the stumps or it's not hitting the stumps. And if it's hitting the stumps, wherever it's hitting the stumps, my thing with DRS is that it's gone too far the other way, that captains are now gambling on decisions rather than what it was meant to be, which was to get rid of the howlers. And
I think reading in a lot of the media yesterday and the day before, there's a lot of, obviously we touched on it as well, pitch politics and all that kind of thing, but I can't, and a lot of people saying that the umpiring was biased towards India. I think if you asked Virat Kohli if the umpiring was biased, I think he'd have other words to say. I think it's like, I mean, if we can, the umpiring's been consistently shit for both teams. Which I mean, obviously you want the umpiring to be good for both teams, but second to that, you want it to be consistently shit for both teams, right?
I'm gonna say the thing is with umpiring, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. The thing is that, don't forget, there's fucking 127 cameras at the ground, right?
Yeah.
Everybody in the world is an umpire, but how many of those people would actually stand in the middle of a test match and actually do the job that these guys are doing? Because it's the hardest freaking job in the world, let me tell you.
Watching a lot of the BBL this year, it's kind of given us a good indication of what cricket's like, what modern day cricket's like without DRS now. And there was some absolute howlers in the BBL, some like real stinkers. So I'm all for DRS, but as I said, it needs to be changed. It needs to be improved and even updated with the times further, because DRS is probably 10, 15 years old now in cricket and it hasn't really changed too much. I think that there needs to be constantly refined and constantly worked on. Back to the cricket then. Can we see England putting out much of a fight today?
Well, there's Ben Stokes. So, look, Dan Lawrence did all right when last night he played some, more attacking shots, and by all accounts, I've not seen a lot of him, obviously, because he's only played a handful of Test match cricket, and we don't get to see much county cricket in Australia. By all accounts, he's a decent player of spin. they're obviously going to need a huge amount of luck because one ball has got your name on this wicket for sure. They have to be positive. There's no point in just trying to hang out for a draw because they've got 2 days to do that, and that's not going to happen. There's no way. There's no way India aren't going to get 7 wickets in 180 overs. That's not happening. So they need to be positive, try and get something out of it with somebody getting a decent big score other than Joe Root.
Yeah, I think you're completely right. I think if anything, England should treat this like a tour match. Get some practice batting on these kind of decks. You know what I mean? If nothing else, salvage a bit of pride, because I think thus far it's been pretty lost in this game. And get your likes of your Ollie Popes, your Ben Folkes. I'm sure hasn't batted on a pitch like this. Even Moeen. Actually, just touching on Moeen, I thought he was the pick of the English bowlers for me.
Yeah, definitely got better. Got better, but he still bowls at the odd 4 ball here, and that sort of just lets people off the hook. And you can't see. You're not going to see Ravi Ashwin do that and Nathan Lyon do that. They get at you, and they keep on at you, and they don't give you a chance to get that 4 ball and whatever. Look, I'm not doubting his effort at all, and he's definitely improved as a spinner.
Well, it has to be said that he's more of a batter bowler, I would suggest, than a bowler batter. For him to bowl the way he did, I know you are right. He did start off pretty shaky and does have a propensity to let batters off the hook slightly. He's still, for me, I mean, he bowled 32 overs, 7 maidens, went for 98, took 4 wickets. So he did okay. I thought Stuart Broad, not really worth being there. I mean,
I honestly don't understand why he was there, to be quite frank. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, Joe Root's probably done a good job as well, but he's at part time, so you're going to get 4 balls from him as well. So I
thought it was telling, even when they got the new ball, they gave the new ball to Jack Leach. You know what I mean? I think Ollie Stone came in for an over or 2 overs, but as soon as they got the new ball, you're thinking, okay. I mean, yes, the deck is turning sideways, but Stuart Broad's probably the new ball specialist. And they've gone, no, Jack Leach, roll your arm over again. To me, it was a bit of a hodgepodge, really. And I think in the wash, it will probably there'll be some heads rolled from the England team after this test.
Rory Burns might come out, whether Zach Crawley opens and Dan Dorrance stays where he is at 3, I don't know. Johnny Bairstow's apparently in the mix as well, so
I'd have him in there.
I'd put Johnny Bairstow in there for sure. Even if it means you start off like Rohit Sharma, put him up at the top and get him to get you score runs like Rohit Sharma did for India in this Test match. Quite clearly, you've got to score quickly when the ball's hard. So if that's the same in Ahmedabad, then I'd take the risk with Johnny Bairstow. I think there's nothing else to lose. I mean, let's face it, Declan. If somebody had said England would be 1-1 going into the 3rd Test match, I'm sure Joe Root and Chris Silver would have snapped your arm off for that, because they've never really done that well in India. I mean, no side really does well in India because the conditions are that extreme that it's very difficult to play. So a 1-1, then going into the 3rd Test match, then I think they would have taken that. I know they're not going to go down without a fight here now. But we need to see them get to at least 250. Try and sort of like hang it out a little bit longer. Try and bat all day today and take it into the 5th day. personally can't see that happening, but it could be over by lunchtime. Let's face it.
I was going to say, first session. I mean, the fight that England have put up in this fourth innings already, I'd suggest it shouldn't take long to tear through them. However,
So we've got Joe Root and Dan Lawrence in at the moment. If they continue to be positive, then obviously there's a chance that they're going to get out. But there's also the chance that they can score some runs. And I think that's what they'll look to do now, is to try and get some, like you say, almost like match practice now. Without Ben Folkes' 40 odd, then we would struggle to get to 134. So yeah, on Ben Folkes, I'm putting it out there. I might have touched this yesterday. I think it's funny because he's like third choice wicketkeeper for England, but I reckon from what he's shown in this Test match, he's the best in the world. I reckon he's the best in the world. I can't see anybody that his glove work. Stumping yesterday, Rohit Sharma and Rishabh Pant on a pitch like that, turning like that, were unbelievable. I know he missed one with Ravichandran, but his glove skills were incredible. And to be able to stand up to Stuart Broad bowling 135 kilometres an hour, that's pretty impressive. I mean, maybe he dropped a catch, off Stuart Broad when he was standing up, but so maybe he shouldn't have been standing up in the first place. But I was very impressed with Ben Folkes, and he batted well as well. So I don't know why he's only third choice. I really don't.
I mean, maybe they think that they can't have someone that sounds too much like Ben Stokes in the team, because I think everyone seems to be getting confused with that one. Yeah, I agree. I think it does pose a very big selection dilemma, because I'm a big fan of Josh Buttler's batting, but is there room for both of them in the team? I think you could argue that, like, Josh Buttler's probably in England's top 5 batters currently, just on his batting alone. Same with Johnny Besto. I mean,
typically too, they don't seem to be able to. He got 25 in that second innings, but it didn't look in any control. The shot he played to get out to was like, a poor shot in the circumstances. I know what he was trying to do, but yeah, look, I know it's difficult to bat on there, but your opener needs to be setting the foundation, like we said, players to do that. If they don't do it, then England are always going to be 3 for something with Joe Root trying to dig him out of a hole every time.
Well, that sounds like a good place to leave it then. England 3 for something, and Joe Root trying to dig them out of a hole again.
That's what happens.
Well, we shall see how Joe Root's digging goes again tomorrow.
I think he's going to dig his own grave, possibly.
Thanks for your time again, Phil.
Mate, no worries.
Take care, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.
We'll speak to you tomorrow.